All right, 8th graders. Today we're taking a look at Lesson 5, Definition of Rotation and Basic Properties. And our goal or our target for today is that you will know how to rotate a figure a given degrees around a given center. You will also know that rotations move lines to lines, rays to rays, segments to segments, and angles to angles. You'll know that rotations preserve lengths of segments and degrees of measures of angles. You will also know that rotations move parallel lines to parallel lines. So looking down below, what is the simplest transformation that would map one of the following figures onto the other? So if we wanted to move one of them on top of the other one, what could we do? What's the simplest thing? Could we reflect it? It would take a lot of reflections, right? We'd have to flip it a bunch of times. What about a translation? Could we just slide it over? No, you see that, right? We're going to need to rotate that shape, okay? In order to get it, we're going to have to rotate it around, and then we're going to have to slide it. All right, we are taking a look. You're going to start turning to page 43 in your book. While you are, it says here, now this is not in your book. It says, let 0 be a point, actually not 0, let O be a point on the plane. Let D be a number between negative 360 and 360. Or in the usual notation, it would look like this. Negative 360 is less than D, which is less than 360. Why do you think we're using the numbers negative 360 and positive 360 in reference to a rotation? Well, the reason we're doing that is because rotating means that we're moving in a circular pattern, and circles have 360 degrees. So depending on which direction you rotate, you can have up to a negative 360 or a positive 360. Now, this part is very, very important. If you are rotating by a positive degree, you move left. If you're rotating by a negative degree, you move right. Down below, I have drawn these two shapes. The black is the plane. We have angle, or not angle, we have a line segment, OP. We moved it 30 degrees, which makes it move to the left. When we move it 30 degrees, we're now on that red rectangle, and our line 0P prime has now been moved 30 degrees. If we are rotating by a negative degree, it's the second one on the right. Again, the black rectangle is the plane, and we have line segment, OP, and when we rotate it, we are going to rotate it negative 30, and when we do that, it ends where the red rectangle is, and our line segment is still OP prime. Notice the degrees, though, is called a negative 30 degrees. It's not a positive. Okay, on page 43 of your book now, okay, we have, let me lower this a little bit. We have exercise 1. It says, let there be a rotation of D degrees around the center 0. Let P be a point other than O. Select a degree, D is degree, so that a degree is larger than or equal to 0. Find P prime. So as we're going to do this, and it even says, for example, the rotation of point P using a transparency. So you are going to have to get out your transparency. And as we take a look at this, we know that when we have a degree of greater than 0, we are moving to the left. So it doesn't tell us what degree. It just says any degree greater than 0. So we need to go ahead and line up our point O on our transparency. Put point P on our transparency. And then we are going to rotate it to the left and create our new point. So wherever that P landed, however far you went. Now, you did not have to go to the same many degrees as everyone else. One person might have only went this far, and then we would have to, of course, draw our line. Well, maybe we're drawing a line there. Oh, I think I have it on white. That would be the problem, guys. All right. Okay. And let's go ahead and move that. Hopefully. Maybe. There we go. There we go. Now, the next person might have moved it farther than you. It could have been a smaller degree as long as it was greater than 0. So it had to have moved at least a little. Looking at number 2. Number 2 says, let there be a rotation of d degrees around center O. Let P be a point other than 0 or other than O. Select a degree so that D is less than 0. Find P prime. Oh, I don't know that I labeled that P prime. There we go. P prime. So we're going to do the same thing, only this time we know that it is less than 0, so it's going to be a negative number. Negative numbers, we rotate to the right. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and again put our transparency on here so we can trace our line the way it is. Okay, we're going to put our point on there. And then we can go ahead and draw our line. We're going to rotate that line, or I'm going to rotate the line. You will already have it there. And once you have that line, now I'm going to rotate it however many degrees I wish. It does not matter how many degrees. And now I show my rotation line. I went this direction, which was negative however many degrees. Okay, negative, I'll say 35. I'm not sure. 35 degrees. All right, next page, top of the page. We are now on page 44. On 44, it says, which direction did point P rotate when D was greater or equal to 0? It went left. And which way did it rotate when it was less than 0? And that would be right. That's probably the most difficult part about rotations, is knowing which direction you're rotating. Okay, this next one, it says, let L be this line. And we see our line. I want to see something. Did I? No. So let L be the line. And AB be a ray AB. Now notice it stops at A and it goes towards B. And then we have segment CD, which has an endpoint at both sides. We also have angle EFG. Then it says, let there be a rotation of D degrees around point 0. Round point O. I keep saying 0. I'm sorry, guys. Find the images of all figures if D is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so first thing I need to do is move my page up a tad bit so that we can see our point O. And we need to go ahead and we need to draw all of our shapes on our transparency. Okay, we need the line, we need our ray AB, we need DC, we need our angle EFG, and our point O. So go ahead and do that right now. And as soon as you get that drawn, we're going to go ahead and rotate. And if our rotation is greater than or equal to 0, we know we are going left. And so we rotate it, keeping our point on 0. So make sure you're holding 0 and rotate left however many degrees. It doesn't matter because as long as it's greater than 0, and go ahead and draw those shapes.